Tell you that you ain't capable. 'Cause through Jesus, all things are possible. What's up, y'all? I'm back with another video. So today is it's Wednesday. I don't know when this video is going to be, produced or put out. You know, don't know when that'll be, but it is what it is. Trying new scenery, you know what I'm saying? Trying to do new stuff in my house, cause I don't know. I just want to do something different. And so, thank you for tuning into Journey with Wendy. I am Wendy, and you're on a journey with me as I am on a journey with Christ. Okay. And so I'm gonna have some strap action, so just ignore it. We know what Nanny said about straps. It just is that's not a strap, that's my tank top. But anyway, and so if you need to go ahead and watch a couple 2-3 videos, then go ahead and watch a couple 2-3 videos, you know what I'm saying? If not, then go ahead and dive and take that plunge and become part of Team Wendy. You know you want to. You know you want to be part of Team Wendy. Why? Look, Team Wendy is just the place that you want to be, okay? Okay. And so I wanted to come and I want to do a follow-up with you guys as far as my salvation testimony is concerned. Because some people were probably like, well, why is this significant to her? Like, why is this important to her? Thank you for all of my subscribers that have subscribed thus far. I really appreciate it. And it is it's very special to me that you guys have found what I have to say interesting, that you have subscribed to my channel. So I want to thank you guys for that. And so, we're going to go ahead and jump back into why my salvation testimony is important to me. And so the reason why it's important to me, just to give you guys a little enlightenment, I'm not going to go back through the salvation testimony because there's a whole video dedicated to that. But I do want to talk to you about what happened on that day. And so what I didn't detail in the previous video, and that's my 5-year anniversary. If you haven't seen it yet, please go watch it because a lot of stuff is going to be lacking in this video. And so the video before, what I didn't speak about was that I got saved through text message. So I alluded to it, yes, but I did not like fully say that I got saved through text message. And so when I say that, at the time, Pastor Bailey and I, we were, texting back and forth. And so in texting back and forth, when I went home to pray, essentially salvation came through a text message. And so I don't understand it, and so the way my brother has tried to describe it to me is that the rarity of it, because people ain't getting saved through text messages, you know what I mean? Well, ain't nobody we know of, I've never heard of a salvation through a text message, because normally, when people get saved, it happens on the altar, or, there's some man that is there with them while they're getting saved. And so, for that to happen through text message, and, I'm in Kansas, and they're in so I'm in Junction City, Kansas. They're in Abilene, Texas. We're 8 hours away, but God knows no distance. And so that's part of, why it is important to me. And also another reason why it's important to me, and why I remember that day so vividly. And as I'm talking to you guys, like I can see myself like walking throughout the day and the events that happen in the day. The reason why I can remember that is because I have the Lord has blessed me with the memory that people call me the recorder. And so essentially, like, I can remember stuff for people. I don't understand it. I don't know, but I just, I use it for His glory. And to tell His stories, okay? And so so with that, I just, you don't know, but I'm gonna tell you. And so I had lived a life where, and I didn't talk about this in the video either, but essentially I didn't want for me, where I was at in my silly, sinful state. Like I didn't want anything to do with God. Like I wasn't seeking him. I wasn't going after him. Like I wasn't going to church. And the only time that I would go to church was when I would go and visit my brother. Um, and that was very rare. Sometimes I didn't even go back to Texas. And so the before I met like officially met Pastor Bailey, like no, but it was when my before my grandmother died. Before I didn't go back. I didn't go. You know, I was like, I ain't going to church today. Whatever. My mom, she got up, she went. I was like, I ain't going. Whatever. So I stayed home. I didn't go. Should have went. Whatever. Hindsight 2020. Can't do nothing about it. Okay. Okay. So so for me, you know, I had lived life in such a way where he wasn't even okay, like the song say. You know, the only time I would pray was, Lord, let me get away with it. That's the only time that I would pray. Outside of that, like I wasn't, you know, and then, you know, I did the little okay, so I guess that's not a totally true statement, but I wasn't living for him in that way. So what I would do, and I did this for years. So, like I said, the only time that I would pray was, Lord, let me get away with it. And so what I would do, and I started doing this when I was I had a Mustang, and it came equipped with satellite radio. So what I would do was, as a matter of fact, no, it did not have satellite radio. So what I would do is I would like make these CDs, or no, as a matter of fact, the Yolanda Adams morning show, they would play that, you know, at Fort Bragg. You know, we were able to get in the area. And so from the hours of 6 to 9, I would strictly play gospel music. You know what I'm saying? Like that's all I would play. Like I wouldn't play anything else, you know, like, and so I think I would get up and pray or something like that. And then from there, you know, from 6 to 9, you know, cause I didn't live too far. I think I lived in, Cambridge Arms Apartments, where if y'all know where that's at. So I would listen to gospel music. That was my time with God, because in my mind, you know, doing that, you know, kept bad stuff away. Yeah, little did I know. And so then from there, I went on, you know, went on about my day. So as soon as it was done, you know, we was knucking and bucking. You know, as soon as 9 o'clock hit, hunty, we was knucking and bucking. So I'm just like, what you doing is counterproductive. I didn't know nothing. So, you know, I would pray before I ate. I would pray before I went to sleep. You know, the now lay me down to sleep. I would do all that stuff, you know, because I felt like, you know, that that it was going to do something for me, you know. I didn't know, you know, that real relationship would cause, you know, real results. I didn't know anything about that. So your girl was just like, look, you know, it is what it is. We're going to do what we're going to do, and that's just going to be what it's going to be. But even in my foolish state, you know, even in the, you know, the state that I was in, he was still there. You know, he still reserved me, and he still preserved me to be able to sit here today with you guys and talk to you about, you know, some of the stuff that it took. And so I want to take you guys back to, let's see, where we gonna go. Story time, where we gonna go, we're gonna go to deployment number 1 in Kuwait, 2003 deployment from 2003 to 2004. So at this time, you know, I'm in 249. Hey, 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 you know, locked in tight. Okay. All right. First Sergeant Williams on deck. The commander, I don't remember her name. Yeah. So, but the other commander that came, you know what I'm saying, her name was Captain Jordan. You know what I'm saying? You know, so it was what it was. So, while we were there, so we deployed at the beginning of March. So by the time we, you know, got to Kuwait and things of that nature, the war was getting ready to kick off. So I think we got there like March 17th. And then the war kicked off like March 19th, like the war, like bombs over Baghdad. Okay. And so we're there. And so the war kicked off March 19th. And I want to say like March 21st, we're getting in full level mop gear. Okay. Cause I came in 2001. All right. And so we're doing full level mop gear. We're putting on a mask and the J-list suit. You know what I'm saying? We putting on all our protective gear, them hard to put on rubber boots. We're putting those on. We're geared out. And the reason for that was because apparently Saddam Hussein was shooting Scud missiles at Camp Arifjan while we were there. I was at Arifjan the whole time until I went somewhere else. Oh, I went to Doha. And then from Doha, I went somewhere else. But Doha was amazing. Yeah. Doha was amazing. And so so we're having scud attacks. And so, we're donning all this gear and it was crazy. Like I'm putting out because you don't know, but we train so much to where like putting on mop level 4, like that was second nature. Like we didn't need no nothing to put it on because we were at that time we were properly trained. And so we're donning it for real this time. And so I remember the fear and the panic that rose up within me. It rose up within me so much to the point to where I was on the verge of having a panic attack. Okay. So because you got all this stuff on, it's already hot in Arifjan, you know what I'm saying? And then not only is it hot in Arifjan, you really can't breathe when you have your gas mask on. So I'm just like, oh my God, like we're gonna die. And so we had a couple of more instances of that. And then I'll never forget, I don't know what happened. I don't know why. I don't know why. Okay. So I don't even know if the commander or first sergeant, I don't know if y'all know this. Okay. But I'm going to go ahead and tell you what me and Falls did. Okay. I think it was me, Falls, and Weaver. Okay. I think Weaver was with us. But I know it was me and Falls for sure because she was driving. So I think we were taking somebody to the airport. Somebody had to go to the airport. So we're in a Humvee, we in a Humvee going to the airport, right? So we driving. And so we end up like in Kuwait City. Like we're in Kuwait City in a Humvee. Okay, because we got lost from like taking somebody to like let's say taking them to Doha. We got lost. So somehow, somewhere, we're like in a residential neighborhood, and so in this residential neighborhood, we're seeing like these black flags. And so I forgot who it was that gave us the briefing on it, but they were like, "Hey, if you see black flags, they're anti-American. Get out." And so much fear and so much panic gripped me. I'm like, Falls. I'm like, girl, do you see these flags? She was like, I see the flags, and so, she was just, she did her best to get us out of there. Cause I think we just made like one wrong turn. But in making the one wrong turn, it, could have hindered us, like we could have died. You know what I mean? But again, the Lord, he preserved all three of us, he preserved all three of us. You know what I mean? And so I was like, okay, all right, cool. And so it was times where, so then I'm going to go ahead and fast forward you guys to, my second deployment, which was 08, 09. And so this time, okay, you see that? I got that. Okay, I'm gonna stop. So this time I deployed with 82nd Combat Action Brigade. I was in HAC. Okay. All right. I was in HHC. Okay. The commander, first sergeant, started with a Z. I remember that. His name started with a Z. I liked him too, but he said something crazy to me. I'm gonna tell y'all what he said too. Cause I was stationed at Fort Lewis, and then so I was at Fort Lewis, Washington, where it rained 10 months out of the year. Okay. When I got to Fort Lewis, it was raining. When I left Fort Lewis, it was summer. So it wasn't raining. And so I was like, it was so gloomy. And it wasn't like a rain. You know what I'm saying? It was just a mist. It just misted all the time. It misted all the time. Just mist. And so, dang, what is his name? Zavala? I think that's his name. First Sergeant Zavala. That's his name. That's what his name gonna be today. I think that's his name though. First Sergeant Zavala. Yeah, I think it was First Sergeant Zavala. Anyway, I digress. I don't know if that's his name. I don't know. I would, get my I Love Me book with my orders. Yes, I kept my orders because you never know. Okay, I kept my deployment orders because you never know when you gonna need some old paperwork. So he was like, hey, Sergeant, not gonna tell you anything else outside of that. So he's like, hey, Sergeant, he was like, so, why did I leave Fort Lewis? And so he was like, why? Because you didn't want to get your hair wet? And I was like, did he really say that? I was like, did he really ask me if I left Fort Lewis, Washington, because I ain't like to get my hair wet? I was like, I don't know what y'all doing over here in 82nd Combat Action Brigade, but I ain't for it, okay? I mean, he turned out to be the coolest, like one of the coolest first sergeants I had. He wasn't cooler than the first sergeant I had at first at Fort Riley. I don't remember his name. Look, I blocked a lot of these folks out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember the ones that had significant impact on my life, whether it be good or whether it be bad. I remember them. You know what I mean? I remember those folks, or I remember that, like, people that, not even if they didn't have an impact on my life, but they were just, for what I would say at the time, just good people. You know what I mean? And so, yeah. If I don't remember your name and you watch it, man, I'm so sorry. But, hey, look, you remember what your girl was going through at the time. It just is what it is, okay? So, second deployment. And so, I'm in 82nd, okay? 82nd, okay? All right. And so they're kind of like Texas, okay? 82nd can be likened to Texas because they, got their own stuff. Like it's upstairs. I still do have it though. If they had their own DA pamphlet. I think it was a DAM. Yeah, they had their own DAM pamphlet, you know what I'm saying? And you were supposed to have that on you at all times. Don't get caught without it, so on and so forth. Like Texas is its own country. And like California is its own country, in the eyes of the people that live there. So is 82nd. And so they had it was something else. You know what I'm saying? And your girl wasn't airborne either. And so they was like, oh, you ain't airborne. We gonna have you do this. We all know how that really didn't go over well. Because I'm like, you're not finna punish me because I don't want to jump out no plane. I need my niece for later so I can chase all these godchildren I have. You know what I'm saying? Because I got like five godchildren. Whether they're actually mine or they're honorary. I'm going to go and name them too. I'm going to go ahead, start at the top with young Elazar. So I got Elazar, I got Samaya, I got Giovanni, I got Trey. Yes, he's my nephew, but by default, okay? I got Gabriel, you know what I'm saying? I got young Grace, I got her, you know what I'm saying? And there's some more that that want TT love. It's some more. There's some more that's pulling on me, And so so having said that, it's just like I'm just like, okay, all right, okay. I need my niece for my nieces and my nephews. I have, I'm just gonna leave that right there with nieces, okay? I'm looking at you, lady Becca, okay? All right. Anywho, So they treated us differently because we weren't airborne. I don't really care. Whatever. It is what it is. So, I started, because around time to take a PT test, so like 2 months before you start, I ain't even finna lie. Like 1 month before you're gonna have a PT test, because when your stuff coming up. So at the 5th month, I ain't done nothing for 5 months. So on the 5th month, I decide, well, I'm gonna start working out. So, me and the person that I was with at the time, like it wasn't every day, but like every time we would run, like we would start at 9 o'clock right there by the green bean on Fob Loyalty. Because at this time I was at not Fob Loyalty, uh Camp mm, Camp Loyalty. Yeah, I was at Camp Loyalty. No. Oh, what is your name? Yes, it was Fob Loyalty. Yeah, it was Fob Loyalty. So we're at Fob Loyalty, where literally a wall, like how you see this couch right here. Okay, so like this wall right here. So like a wall separated us from Solder City. All right, cool. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. It is where it is. It is what it is. So we're there. And so at this time, it's like real. It's like real because the summer surge or whatever, and so they start. We were getting mortared a lot, and so we were getting mortared to the point to where people would just stop, putting their gear on. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then we still had to go out and check on the soldiers, but even in that, like it was a lack of daisicalness. You know what I'm saying? Like people weren't as prompt to do it as they were originally. So somehow, some way, I ended up on shift, of course. And so I was actually told to stay by some captain. I don't remember his name. But essentially, like he told me to stay to do the Blue One report. And so the Blue One report, don't remember what it was about. Don't really care. But what I do remember was I was hot because I was trying to get myself ready for the up and coming PT test, because I ain't trying to be okay, not an 82nd. So he was like, hey, you're gonna stay here tonight and you're gonna do the Blue One report. And I was like, what? I'm like, so y'all, so essentially, and this was me. I was like, so I'm doing your work for you. Your girl was hot. I was heated. Little did I know that in doing the and staying and doing the Blue One report, the Lord preserved my life again. So it was about nine. I want to say like 9:02. Between 9:02 and like 9:05, all we hear is doo doo doo, and the building is literally shaking. The building is shaking. Like we're hearing these explosions, and they're closer than they have ever been. Yeah, sure. They put an EFP on behind the wall where I lived at. They put an EFP on there. It went off. Explosive forwarding projectile. So they stuck it on the wall. It went off. But that wouldn't even, because I knew I was all right. But when it came time for this day, I did not know I was all right. And so it was such, like, again, the fear gripped me. And the fear gripped me in such a way that, like everybody was literally getting under the desk. Like it was, and the buildings are shaking. You know what I'm saying? I would say like an earthquake in California. A lot of y'all don't know what earthquakes in California feel like. It's okay. I know what it feels like. The people that were with me know what it feels like. And so on and so forth. And so at this time, Master Sergeant Davis was like, hey, it was me and it was Staff Sergeant Gibson. He was like, hey, y'all need to go out and y'all need to go check on our soldiers. So we're and this time this is not a game. You know what I'm saying? It's not a game. We're hightailing it, like, because we've got to go check on these soldiers, because now it's an imminent threat. Now something has gone down. And so we're checking on the soldiers. I check on Fritz and Win, and you know what I'm saying, all these people. And so as we're coming back, if I remember correctly, I see the guy from the Green Bean Coffee Shop. I do not remember his name. Oh, it's JoJo. Dang, that came back quick. So his name was JoJo. He was a what we call TCNs over there, which is third country national. So he was like so hurt. He was really really hurt, and it's very graphic. And so I won't talk about how hurt he was, but he was very very hurt. And so they had to medevac him out of the country, and I believe he went to Germany, and from Germany he went back to his home country. And so we're back in, we're everybody's present and accounted for except for one person is not present and one person is not accounted for out of the entire battalion. Okay, and so I don't know how many people was in the battalion, and I don't know how many people was in the brigade, but for us, one person was missing. And so at this time, it's the person that I was talking to at the time. And so once again, fear had gripped me, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. So I put my gear back on and I went over to his room, and I'm like, okay, I'm knocking on the door. Nothing. His roommate went over. Nothing. And so I'm like, okay, what's happening? Like, where is this person at? And so, yo, this person come in like an hour after the mayhem has happened. And we like, bruh, where you been? Where you been at, bruh? Oh, I was in my room. I was asleep. You didn't hear us knocking on the door, bruh? You ain't hear us knocking on the door, bruh. You ain't hear us knocking on the door. You heard us knocking on the door. You ain't hear them explosions and them rocks and stuff. You ain't hear that. And so, it was crazy. Like, I had never experienced anything like that in my life. I was just like, look, I'm like, that's when the war got real. You know what I'm saying? So, all this stuff is happening, and all this mayhem, and times where I should have died, but I didn't. And so that's another reason why my salvation story is important to me, because even leading up to salvation, I can tell you places where God was, even though I was an enemy to him. He kept me, and he preserved me, and he's reserving me, and he's saving me, he saved me for such a time as this, to be able to sit down and talk to you and give you guys more about my testimony that led up to salvation. Because had not been for me being forced to do the Blue One report, because I'm the kind of person, I'm like, look, everybody has their own job. You do your job, I'm going to do my job much quicker, and then I'm going to chill. So I don't want to do my work and your work because you don't want to do your work, and then I'm going to do your work as good as I'm going to do mine. I don't want to do that. That's not what I have not been called to that. I have not been chosen by God to do your work too. To do your work and my work together at the same. No, I have not been chosen by God like that. No, I have been chosen by God for a specific purpose, okay? It is not to do other people's work, okay? All right, I just had to get that. I had to get that out there. You know what I'm saying? So, is all that stuff was happening, so the first war, that stuff happened. And so I don't know if you guys remember, in the first war, President Bush at the time stated, the son, he stated that we were deploying because Iran, Saddam Hussein had weapons of mass destruction that we never found until much later. And then the second one, it was just a continuation of the original war. And so the reason why my salvation testimony is important to me, and why I talk about it each year, well, you guys don't know, but each year that I have been saved, I have, talked about my salvation testimony in some way, shape, fashion, or form. But I wanted to, come to you guys and to give God glory for, saving my life, because I don't even know, and to this day, I don't know what happened to JoJo, the third country national. I don't know what happened to him. I don't know if he was okay. I don't know if he made it out. I don't know anything. You know what I mean? And some people that, were there that got hurt, not got hurt, they died, because, and then on that deployment, we lost 11 lives. And so this was my first deployment with actual, casualties of war. And so I'm just like, man, I could have been a casualty of war. Had I had been out there when I was supposed to be out there, I could have got hurt too, because right where the mortar hit in the green bean, well, it wasn't in the green bean, was shrapnel hit the green bean. So right where it happened at, we were supposed to be running. You know what I mean? And I can't stress that enough, because that was our day to run. Everybody knew that was our time to run. And so, me being forced to stay when I had never been forced to stay before, it was so foreign to me. But, the Lord revealed to me that, he basically, he didn't allow me to go out because he was saving my life. And so, if you have, and I'm sure that in your own life that you can, find times that were there, that God was there. You can find times that, he was, preserving you as well. And so, having said that, I want to come and I want to give a little bit more insight and a little bit more detail into why, I gave that testimony to you guys a couple of weeks ago. And there'll probably be more, stories from this. It'll probably be more that has come, more revelation, because even as I'm talking to you guys, revelation is coming, because some stuff, I didn't see before. Some stuff I didn't know until I started telling my salvation story out loud. Like, not that I haven't told it out loud before, but, each time I tell it, it's more and more revelation that comes forth. And so, having said that, more stories are coming. I'm probably going to be doing more mukbangs, but right now it's not a mukbang time. It's God's time. And so I want to respect his time with, not shoveling my mouth with food, but I want to, give him honor and give him glory through what he has done in my life. And so if you have any instances that you can recall, or that you would like to share, I would like to hear it. You know what I mean? I would like to hear how the Lord has preserved you and how he was there for you when no one else was. I would like to hear that, And so with that, your girl is out. I'm out. I'm outie 5,000 G. Okay. With that, please like and subscribe to please like and comment down below, and go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I post and hit the bell notification. I post new videos every Tuesday and every Thursday. Wednesdays are bonus videos if I decide that I want to post a video. If I don't want to post a video, then I'm not going to post a video. Y'all are spoiled, because I've been posting videos on every Wednesday, even when I don't be doing Weight Loss Wednesday. So it probably, until I start doing Weight Loss Wednesday, won't be, I don't know. However it suits me to do, but y'all just know that on Tuesdays and Thursdays are the actual days that I post videos, and I will be posting those, as I have committed to you guys, unless something happens. And if I can't post it on that day, then I post it the next day or the day before, however it happens. So thank you for your support and for continuing to watch my videos. Thank you for commenting, all those that commented, and thank you for all those that like the videos, actually liking them. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, hit me down below. Hit your girl in your email. It's in the description box. And with that, I'm out. Peace out. This has been Journey with Wendy.